Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session on the Friends of Lemoine Point. We are very excited for you guys to join us. I see a couple of people have joined in, so I want to say hi to MP and to Emily. I'm happy to have you around. My name is Sonia, and I'm joined by Sam and Aiden. So the Friends of Lemoine Point is a very important charity in the Kingston area because they do a lot of really great conservation work in the CRCA. So for those of you who maybe aren't from Kingston or who aren't familiar with what the CRCA is, the CRCA stands for the Cataraqui Region Conservation Authority, and they look after 11 different areas in our regions. We are primarily focusing on Lemoine Point and, of course, the Friends of Lemoine Point. So before we get started, we just want to do a quick survey of who here has visited Lemoine Point before.
Great. Lemoine Point is such an amazing part of Kingston. It's a place anyone can go to just recharge in this new world of being online virtually 24/7. We want to make sure that areas like Lemoine Point are able to be around for decades to come. The Friends of Lemoine Point is a vital part of the conservation efforts in the area. They are run by volunteers and raise most of the funding through donations and membership fees alone. They have three specific goals. One, to undertake programs and activities to protect and enhance Lemoine Point's natural environment. Two, to protect public awareness and enjoyment of Lemoine Point's conservation area as a place of nature. And three, to advise the Cataraqui Region Conservation Authority, CRCA, on the development and conservation of Lemoine Point.
They achieve this through different events and programs that they undertake. If you want to find out more about various events, we'll have 3 sessions on events at 11:25, 12:25, and 1:25. Some of the programs that the Friends of Lemoine Point run are the Heritage Forest Program, Native Plant Nursery, Invasive Species Control, programs and initiatives that contribute to the biodiversity of Lemoine Point, such as turtle nests and an osprey perch, trail management, making sure the area is accessible and representing the interests of the guests of Lemoine Point and the policies and planning. They also conduct random visitor surveys so they can best serve the area. We will get into further different conservation efforts in our conservation sessions at 11:45, 12:45, and 1:45.
So, as mentioned by Sam earlier, the Friends is run by a group of volunteers, and the easiest way that you can support their efforts is just by donating or becoming a friend yourself. The cost of yearly membership is $20, and if you have a second person in the same household, the cost of their yearly membership is just $10. So that's a very good value for 2 people in the same household. Becoming a friend of Lemoine Point entails you to vote in their annual meetings, as well as attend each one of their weekly meetings as well. And each weekly meeting, they do conduct conservation events, so you can participate in those. If you just wanted to donate and not become a friend of Lemoine Point, you're able to as well. Both links for donating and becoming a friend are at the top of our vendor page. We also have the links in the description of this stream.
We are now going to open up the rest of our session to questions, so please feel free to put them into our chat for anyone that's joined us.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Great. So that was just our video edited by our wonderful team member, Sonia, depicting just the great environment you can go and enjoy out at Lemoine Point. And we're just checking our chat streams here. Great. So for anyone that's joined us now, we just wanted to remind you that we do have a private or a chat here at stream in our stream. And if you have any questions on Lemoine Point, please feel free to put them in there now.
Nicole, we're excited for you to join us. So if you do have any questions, we can answer them for you. So Sam, I know you're a huge fan of Lemoine Point, and you try to visit there as much as you can. What is your favorite part of the area?
I'd have to say just enjoying the trails themselves. It's the best way to get outside and enjoy the green space that we have to enjoy as a community. We're so lucky to have it. Another great feature is always bringing your dog to the park.
Yeah, Aiden has a dog, and if you brought your dog to the Lemoine Point before, I know they have a dog area, right?
Yeah, I haven't taken him to the dog park, but I've walked him around the main part of Lemoine Point. It's always a great time to, especially in the fall, seeing the leaves change, and it's great for photos and stuff like that.
I think one of my favorite parts of Lemoine Point is the fact that as someone who doesn't have a car, I rely on public transportation, and it's really easy to get out there. It's about only a kilometer away from a bus stop, so it's a really quick walk from public transportation to the park, and it's so peaceful that I just want to that I like to be there as much as possible.
That's a great point, Sonia. For anyone that's visiting without a car, that walk along up to Lemoine's Point itself is beautiful, and then you get to the trails and they're even more beautiful.
Yeah. And also, so Nicole has a question that's perfect. So her question is, what does this charity do for Lemoine's Point with the donations they receive? So that's a great question. Did Sam or Aiden, did you want to answer that?
Thanks for the question, Nicole. So by donating to Friends of Lemoine Point, you're helping to be a part of the conservation efforts. All the donations go right back into the efforts and initiatives that the Friends of Lemoine Point run. Excuse me. And by donating, you're helping to be a part of that yourself.
Yes. And like just having the area for years and years is really important, especially with us being online more every single day because of everything that's happening in the world. I think having a spot where you can just go and unplug and recharge yourself, get your zen back is really important to the area. And it's one of the most unique. I've lived in several different cities, and I don't remember a city that has a place that's as accessible to people without cars or as accessible in general as Lemoine Point is.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's right, Nicole. It's a staple for the Kingston area, and we want to keep it open for years to come. So definitely appreciate the question. Thank you for joining us as well. One other great thing, we did mention it earlier briefly, we'll touch on it more in the conservation period, but is the accessibility. So with having the area accessible to someone who maybe has physical limitations is super important. And they have half of the trails are wheelchair accessible, which is amazing.
Great. So I see that we've had someone else join our stream here. Hi, Raquel. Thanks for joining us.
If you have any questions, then we'll be happy to answer them. I know even joining late, we'll be happy to catch you up on anything you may have missed as well.
Great. Thank you for your comment, Raquel. Raquel's just saying that our page looks great and she's just checking out our info. So thank you. We have a wonderful video that's produced by our team member, Sonia, and as well as a bunch of great pictures for you to check out on the area itself.
Mm-hmm. And if you guys want to get involved without donating any money, we would appreciate if you would be able to donate to this great charity or become a friend. You can become a member you can become a volunteer and help with the conservation and all the biodiversity stuff that they do as well, which is very important. Sometimes being a volunteer to an organization like Friends of Lemoine Point sometimes it's more important than getting, say, like $5 from someone. Because by being a volunteer, you can help them with things that they can't necessarily pay for.
That's a great point, Sonia. And all the volunteering opportunities also give you the chance to get outside too and enjoy the point. So it just gives you another way to get outside and unplug for a little bit from this online virtual world. All right, I see that we have someone else joining us in our chat here. Hi, Garrett there. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for stopping by.
We really appreciate you guys joining us, and we have a schedule on the page, but we will have a session on events coming up at 11:25, a session on conservation at 11:45. We're gonna have 5-minute breaks in between each one. So if you missed any of this one, you can come in and join our next session on an overview of Lemoine Point at 12:05.
Great. We just had a great comment from Garrett. He's telling us that he's a big fan of Lemoine Point. Thank you so much. So are we.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when we were picking our charity, we wanted to make sure to pick something that is a little different than what everyone else was picking, and also that is a benefit to pretty much anyone in Kingston, because it's free to go to Lemoine Point and anyone can get there. It's pretty accessible to people. For those of you who joined late, we'll play our quick video again.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Great. So we've got another comment here from Garrett, and he's saying that he's a photographer and he's done a million shoots there at Lemoine Point, and it's super versatile and always looks great. And I can't agree more, Garrett. It's so picturesque there, the trails, the water, everything. It's also just a great day to get out and enjoy the fresh air while you're shooting as well.
The other thing I will add is a lot of people just think of going to Lemoine Point for fall or for spring or summer, but it's an amazing area to go for during the winter as well. It's a little less busy. There's so many amazing wildlife like chickadees and everything like that, that it's just, it might be a little colder, but if you go during like a brisk winter day, it's not that bad. So if you're watching on YouTube and not on the page itself, do you guys know if Lemoine Point has a risk of closing down if COVID gets worse in Kingston? Was Friends of Lemoine Point unable to physically be at Lemoine Point when we were initially locked down in March/April? I don't believe there would be a risk to it shutting down, but you never know. Hopefully, we're hoping that it didn't. I believe they were still there. So they have moved all their events to Little Creek Cataraqui Conservation Area because they don't have enough space to socially distance. And we'll touch more on events later, but I believe they will still be open just because they do have funding from the CRCA as well.
That's true. At the moment, Lemoine Point is open. Trails only, unfortunately, no events. But they have put in place proper social distancing measures for all of us that are there to enjoy it. And as someone who goes there personally, I hope that we don't see it close down during COVID. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to say, and we all have to keep our eyes out for any measures set forth by the province. But hopefully the area will stay open if we all stick to our social distancing precautions.
Fingers crossed.
All right, I think that's all the time we have for questions. We do have a comment on our YouTube channel from Cameron. Thank you very much, Cameron.
Thank you.
Thank you for the compliment. So he just said, nice video. Of course, Cameron is pretty awesome in video himself. So thank you very much. So we're gonna, if you want to wrap it up, Aiden.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for commenting so far. Be sure to tune into our other sessions. We'll be talking about events at just 5 minutes, 11:25, and conservation information at 11:45. See you then.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome and thank you for joining us for Friends of Lemoine Point. This session will be covering all the events hosted in our beautiful conservation areas and some of the great chances to get involved and outside. These events are the perfect way to enjoy these beautiful green spaces while also helping to support their preservation. Throughout the years, Friends of Lemoine Point, along with the CRCA, have worked hard to come together to offer fun and exciting events to the local community.
This year may look a little different because of COVID-19, but don't worry. Many of these great programs have been modified for your safety and are still being run. Has anyone been to one of the outdoor conservation events before or heard of them?
So maybe while we wait for results, because we are a bit delayed, we'll play our video on Lemoine Point, just to give you guys a chance to answer on the chat, either on YouTube or in the Wise chat on our page.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right, well, I don't see anyone who has said they've been to any of the conservation events, and that's okay. That's why we're here today, just to let you know about all the amazing events that they do in Lemoine Point and in the other conservation areas as well. So this session will be outlining some of those events. While Lemoine Point is currently open and available for our enjoyment, registered events have been moved to the Little Creek Conservation Area until further notice to accommodate proper safety measures. Updates and a full calendar can be found on the CRCA website, which is linked in the YouTube description of the stream. So if you want to click it and find out more, that's where you'll find the link.
Events are designed to help participants get outside and enjoy the wonderful places of nature that we have to enjoy. All proceeds of fundraising from these fun events go right back into the organizations and supporting preservation efforts. All events require pre-registration and typically cost between $20 and $35, depending on the event or size of your group.
Becoming a member of FLP is a wonderful way to support your community and keep our green spaces safe for all of us to enjoy. Friends manages to offer tons of different initiatives to help preserve Lemoine Point. And through the year, there are some key events for members to join in on. If you tuned into our earlier sessions, you might have heard some of the Friends membership initiatives, but for those just joining now, we'll quickly outline some of Friends preservation events.
Now, we will just give a brief overview here, but feel free to join into our next session to find out more. We will be holding our first of 3 conservation sessions at 11:45. So the first one is that members set out and help clean up the beautiful trails during the spring cleanup and trail management events while they're out walking and enjoying the area. Friends provides gloves and bags to make it super easy for you guys to get involved. Invasive plant control is a huge aspect of conservation and is a part of the weekly meetings where members come together to focus on specific invasive species removal to protect the native plants in the conservation area. We'll get further into the invasive species that are currently plaguing Lemoine Point and the effects they're having on the native plants and wildlife. Lemoine Point also sells plants grown from their own nursery during their spring plant sale, and all proceeds go directly back into the organization and conservation programs. The annual tree planting event is a great event that helps extend Lemoine Point's forest cover. And also, don't forget the annual general meeting, where registered members have the opportunity to share their voice and be part of the planning process for the organization. Members really get to be a part of the process and get involved in what's to come in the conservation of our beautiful place of nature.
And that's not all. On top of these wonderful events that are held regularly by the Friends of Lemoine Point, there are even more events geared simply to sharing and enjoying nature. With themed programs and guided tours, Friends and other local conservation groups have worked hard to come together and offer even more great ways to get outside. One of the first great events is the Rudolph Run and Walk fundraiser, a fun day of outdoors, fresh air, and making a difference. This year, with those who are in your COVID bubble, you can get outside and into nature on the picturesque Cataraqui Trail. The event is designed so participants can choose from 2 and 5 kilometer options or participate just by raising funds. Groups and events are modified this year to accommodate social distancing, but each group member receives a festive Rudolph-inspired mask for participation. And the group that raises the most from each team out of Napanee, Kingston, and Sydenham will win a Cataraqui Conservation annual pass to Little Cataraqui Creek Conservation Area for 1 whole year.
Another event is the forest therapy walks. They are offered in many different forms. Forest therapy is a mindful, healing, and connective practice inspired by the Japanese practice of forest bathing. Spending time in nature not only strengthens the immune response, and reduces stress, but also makes us more creative, mindful, and content in our lives. The beauty of forest therapy is that it connects human and nature so both benefit from renewed relationship. Everyone can benefit from forest therapy walks. Anyone who is looking to de-stress, slow down, heal, and connect with nature. The CRCA and groups like FLP offer a ton of different sessions to help us all join in and reconnect. All forest therapy events for only $20 per person, and all proceeds go right back into supporting the organizations.
All right. So in addition to the forest therapy walk that Aiden just told us about, Friends also offers a forest therapy walk with your four-legged friend. Bring the whole family to this therapeutic day of connecting with nature. Join certified forest therapy guide Stana and her puppy Theo, who together will guide you with your furry friend. Your time in the forest will be a chance to deepen your relationship with yourself, others, the more than human world, and your dog. This is a dog parent's dream. This event is an opportunity to engage with your dog's natural ways to support you into the practice of forest therapy. A different experience than other forest therapy walks, this event brings the energy of your four-legged friends and a chance to reconnect with your loved one in their natural environment.
Another great option for the forest therapy walk is Green Friday. This year, instead of having Black Friday, turn it into a Green Friday. Instead of online shopping, this event is held to help you unplug and give yourself the gift of nature. Take an hour in the forest with Green Friday and open up your senses to the present moment. Everything is an invitation, and participants follow what feels comfortable to them. The experience can involve walking, sitting, standing, or simply lying down. The beauty of the forest therapy walk is that it connects humans and natures that both benefit from the renewed relationship. And during each walk, participants have the chance to share in circle what they notice with others. This is another great event and a way to slow down and heal and connect with nature.
And that's not all. There are even more forest therapy walks to join in, like the Giving Tuesday and Firelight Evening. There's something for everyone. And this year, of course, all events have been modified to accommodate safety. We will now open up to some questions. While you're typing your questions in the chat, we just have a short video to show you. Enjoy.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right, well, we're waiting for questions. We can maybe ask Sam and Aiden, is there a certain event that you think you would enjoy the most out of the ones that we've talked about?
Ooh, I really love the forest therapy walk with your dog. It sounds like such a great event. I bet Aiden would be a great participant in that one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. I mean, everyone's stressed right now with COVID and these unusual times, so I feel like a nice time to de-stress yourself, take a walk with your dog if you have one, and just enjoy nature.
I would want to go to that just to see all the dogs. I don't have a dog, but I have a cat. I don't think they would allow cats in it because it's just for dogs right now. But that'd be quite the event if they had a cat therapy walk as well.
That'd be funny.
So I think maybe one question that people might have is, are the events accessible? And while they're usually held at Lemoine Point, since there's not enough room to properly social distance for these events, they have moved them, as Sam said earlier, they have moved them to Little Cataraqui Creek Conservation Area. And If you need any information on accessibility for that area, they do have all the information on their website. But I know the CRCA and all of the organizations like Friends of Lemoine Point are working on making all of the areas accessible so everyone can enjoy them. Another event I think sounds pretty awesome is that Green Friday one, because there's so much consumerism in the world right now that people just need a break from it. So much tech. I think it'd be a great thing for people to just try to help with their stress and all of that. It just sounds like a great idea to me.
Yep.
Right, great way to unplug, get away from your screen for an hour.
Yeah.
Even too.
Plus, you're spending money on the event, but that money goes right back into keeping these areas open for us. So that's sort of, you're helping yourself and you're helping others, which is amazing.
That's true, Sonia. It's not only helping with the initiatives and the efforts, but you're also getting that opportunity to get back out inside and help with preserving as well.
Also, we should add that they do have a contact form on their website so that you can contact them with maybe an event idea. So if you have an event idea that they're not doing, then you can probably get them to either think about it or maybe start it. And you can always do like stuff on your own too, like go there and like have like a walk with your COVID bubble, which would be amazing. All right. Let's wait for a few more
Since we are
questions.
experiencing a delay, Sonia, did you want to play the video for anyone that's joined our live session now?
Sure, yeah.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
I think the big thing with that video, the purpose of it was to get people to unplug and reconnect with nature and help a greater organization. I think in these COVID times, it's especially important to try to get away from your screens, get out, enjoy the nice weather while we have it, even if it gets cold. The Lemoine Point is still an amazing place to visit during the winter, and just bundle up because having fresh air really helps with everything.
So true, Sonia. And I just wanted to say hi and thank you for Terry for joining us on our show.
Hi, Terry.
Yeah, Terry has done an amazing job with all the tech aspects of the show. She's been a huge support. When we had trouble building our page, she was there basically right away to help us. So thank you, Terry, for everything. All right, we might just wait a couple more seconds for a few questions. Oh no, she left now.
Just checking our stream here. And earlier we had someone join us, Garrett, who said that he lived in the downtown area and he loved how accessible the area of Lemoine Point is for even anyone that's from the downtown core. It's so easy to get there and enjoy the area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find I've lived in a lot of cities and I find that Kingston has a very accessible nature area. A lot of these cities I've lived in don't really need a car to get to a place. Like I lived in London, Ontario, and their big like nature area you needed a car to get to. So it's nice to have an area like this that anyone can get to even without a vehicle.
It's true. What an amazing resource for Kingston to have.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, it looks like we're just coming to the end of our session, it looks like.
Alrighty. So thank you everyone for joining again. So our next session will take place at 11:45 and it'll be on the conservation efforts. Hope to see you there.
everyone. Welcome to our session on the conservation efforts at Lemoine Point by Friends of Lemoine Point. If you saw any of our earlier sessions, we covered just a brief overview of the charity, the Friends of Lemoine Point, as well as the events, and we'll be covering those in later sessions as well. One of the great things about becoming a Friends of Lemoine Point member is the opportunity to learn about all the interesting ways the group works to preserve and protect our conservation area. They do some amazing work to help the conservation and biodiversity of the area.
Some of the great conservation efforts that Friends of Lemoine Point run are the Heritage Forest Program. This is a tree planting program that establishes groves of assorted species of native trees and shrubs in order to enhance the existing forest. Volunteers plant up to 1,000 trees at these community planting events, and they fund all of these events through membership fees and donations. Another initiative is the native plant nursery, where they use seeds and cuttings collected from the native plants in the area to build a nursery at the north end of Lemoine Point. This helps the plants be healthier and well adapted, and it's also less expensive. Again, this is funded by donations and fundraising and is 100% volunteer run. They sell trees, shrubs, and wildflowers that are grown at the nursery to help fund its operations.
Part of conservation is eliminating invasive species so that are destroying flowers and plants that are native. The volunteers at FLP help control invasive species to encourage native plants to flourish. The main focus of their conservation efforts is the garlic mustard, which is displacing native spring wildflower, dog strangling vine that is covering native shrubs, and European buckthorn. Biodiversity is a very important part of our ecosystem. The FLP undertakes various projects and initiatives that conserve or enhance the biodiversity of Lemoine Point. The biodiversity efforts are primarily aimed at protecting of or developing of habitats for existing animals and bird species. Currently, they are working on things like turtle nesting sites and building a perch for osprey.
So if you've been to any conservation areas or even any nature areas, the most popular part of those are always the trails you can explore. And that's no different with Friends of Lemoine Point or with Lemoine Point. The Friends of Lemoine Point helps manage the trails to enable enjoyable walking and to encourage guests to stay on the paths. By staying on each designated path, you can help protect interior habitat, which is very important to help protect all the diversity of the animals and the plants in the area. Friends of Lemoine Point wants to make sure that everyone can use the area no matter what their physical limitations are. Currently, about half the trails that are accessible, and they're working on making all of the trails accessible right now. The washrooms are remodeled and picnic tables are wheelchair accessible. They are able to fund projects like these through fundraising and donations. Along with accessibility, FLP helps in the policy and planning of the area. This work, while it does not seem like it's directly conservation, it does help designate how they can help with the conservation of Lemoine Point.
And so how can you help? The biggest way that you can help is by donating or becoming a friend of Lemoine Point. Donations and membership fees fund a lot of the conservation efforts that they undertake, and all donations and membership fees are tax deductible as well. If you can donate to this amazing organization, you can click the button on our page or the link in our description of this stream. If you can also become a member, you can also become a volunteer. Sorry. They have a sign-up page on their website, which is also linked in the description of our stream.
We will now open this session up to questions you may have. While you're typing in your questions in the chat, we have a short video to show you. Enjoy.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Great video.
We have a question earlier from Jessica Avery. She asks, how do I best utilize Lemoine Point into winter with my family? Great question.
Yeah, it's an excellent question. Thank you for that question. So I would say the best way you utilize is they do keep the trails clear of snow and try to make it so it's safe for people to use. I believe they also do chickadee feeding, or they sell seeds where you can feed the chickadees, which would be an amazing thing to do with the young kids. And just enjoy the trails, get out, enjoy the fresh air, and usually you can find a day that has decent weather where it's not too stormy or not too cold.
Also, maybe have a nice family snow fight.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Snowballs if the snow is well enough.
Yeah.
Keep it fun and friendly.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved going out during winter and just exploring different areas. So I think it's really vital for a child to experience that and families to experience. It's a great bonding time, even in the winter. Now, as Sam touched on the volunteering earlier, we do hope that you're able to make a donation or become a friend. But if you're not financially able to make a donation or do that, then you can become a volunteer. And this is a very good way to support the area and to help keep it around for decades to come.
It's true, Sonia. It's a great way for you to get involved, as well as being part of the preservation of these important areas.
I will add that if you are worried about, say you have couple people in your household, a couple adults, and you want to become a member, and you also had someone else who wanted to become a member, they do have a discount for the second member in the household. First one is $20 to become a friend, and then after that is just $10 for the next person. So that's a really, really good initiative that they have. And becoming a member does give you the opportunity to vote at meetings and to attend meetings and help with the conservation efforts. So there's a lot of benefits to it, as well as you're helping your community. And I see Tom has joined the channel. Hello, Tom, and how are you today? So we'll give a little bit of time for more questions, but since we are on a bit of a delay, we will play the video for you so you can have time to put your questions to the chat. And if you are on YouTube, you can also put questions there. We'll see all of your comments as well.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Great video. So for anyone that's joining the channel now, that was just depicting some of the picturesque scenery that you can find at Lemoine Point. And for anyone that's wondering how they can donate or get involved, one of the great ways is by becoming a friend of Lemoine Point. Donations and membership fees fund a lot of the conservation efforts that they undertake. And so by donating, you become a part of this great organization, and you also help in their preservation efforts. We've provided links on both our page and just the links in the description of our chat.
So we had a couple people that just joined the stream. We have Mary Deacon and then Ashia1. So welcome to both of you. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. We all are going to be taking questions for about 5 more minutes. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Also, if you're looking at the page, we do have a few things that you can take a look at. We do have our video at the top if you want to watch it again on your own time. You can save the link, it'd be amazing. As well as we have a Google map, and then we have a brochure for Lemoine Point with all the trail information, the conservation information, and some amazing pictures that we found as well. So the reason why we think that Friends of Lemoine Point is a very vital charity is, while they are part of the CRCA, they are completely volunteer run, but the CRCA does have 11 areas that they take care of. So they can't take care of all the areas at once. So having an organization like Friends of Lemoine Point that helps take care of the conservation and the biodiversity of the area is very important. Other than donating and becoming a friend, they do fundraiser events. So if you want to buy some amazing plants or trees or shrubs, they do have their annual spring sale. They haven't announced, I don't believe they have announced the date for that yet, but just keep a lookout for that for next year.
So we're getting a comment here on our stream from Mary. Hi, Mary, and thanks for your comment. She's saying that Lemoine Point looks like a beautiful spot, and that although she's lived in Kingston for 8 years, she's never been there, and that she has to visit it now for a nice fall walk, which I can't agree more. It's such a great opportunity to get outside and enjoy the area. And simply by being there, you're helping to enhance it by raising its awareness and making it a part of our community.
I do think it's a hidden gem in Kingston that if you know about it, you know about it. Oh, thank you, Ashley, for so much for the comment about the video. Sam did an amazing job getting shots of the video, so Sam just got some good shots. It was very easy to work with.
Yeah.
And Sonia did an amazing job editing it, but thank you. It was a great day to get outside and enjoy the Lemoine Point area. A lot of fun shooting that.
Mm-hmm. And the main goal, so this is Andy, and she says, hi, Aiden.
Hi, Andy. How are you doing? I hope everything's well. She also asked if we're allowed swimming at Lemoine Point. I believe so. I remember when I was younger swimming at Lemoine Point, and doing some research, I haven't seen anywhere that says you're not allowed to swim.
Yeah, they have a pretty beautiful waterfront there. Everything's beautiful there. And we had Gemma join the channel as well. Hello, Gemma. How are you?
And speaking of how beautiful the area is, for anyone joining our stream now, we've also posted some amazing photos at the bottom of our page that you can click through and see what you can expect in the beautiful scenery.
Also, I'm not sure if many people in the chat know, but geocaching is a pretty big hobby of some, and Lemoine Point has tons of geocaching locations. It's a great time you can just do it with your family, or just go for a nice, I don't know, Sunday afternoon, go find some geocaches. It's actually a pretty fun time to do.
Yes, the geocaching is a great activity to do, especially when we're doing social distancing and places not being opened, activities being either canceled or closed. So geocaching is a great way to get out and just to enjoy the amazing weather that we still have right now. Aiden, are you aware if there's sites to get clues for the geocaches?
There is I know there's the app for geocaching, and that they give clues on the app to show where to go for. Like, it doesn't give you like 100% clues, just kind of little hints, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But they do it pretty well. It doesn't make it too easy to find.
And before we end this session, we do have 3 sessions that run every hour, but we have one more comment here on our YouTube video from Jessica Avery. And our dog loves Lemoines. She tends to swim there this summer, or swims there in the summer, sorry. And yeah, it's a great place to bring your dogs just to get out and just bring them and let them explore. Dogs love it there. just note you do have to have them on leashes. So if you wanted to bring your dog, they do require your dog to be on leash as well on the trails and everything.
So thank you for joining our session. We'll be back at 12:05 with another session if you want to join us again, or tune in a little later and want some more information. See you then.
Hello, welcome back, everyone. So we are starting our sessions over again. This is just the session on the overview of the charity Friends of Lemoine Point. We're very excited that you guys could join us. My name is Sonia, and I'm joined by Aiden. Our other group member is Sam, and she's just talking to our wonderful lobby hosts, Reed and Danny, about the charity. So she'll be joining us a little bit later. The Friends of Lemoine Point is a very important organization in the Kingston area because they do a lot of really great conservation work in the CRCA. So if you're joining us from a different area of Kingston or you aren't familiar with the CRCA is, the CRCA stands for the Cataraqui Region Conservation Authority. The CRCA looks after 11 different areas in our regions, but we are focusing just on Lemoine Point, more prominently the Friends of Lemoine Point, our chosen charity. Before we get started, we'll give you a little bit of a chance to answer our brief survey of who here has visited Lemoine Point. And while you put your answers in the chat, either on YouTube or in our Wise chat, then we're going to play a brief video for you guys.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right, so I don't see any comments. But we'll just, if you haven't been there before, then we just want to say that Lemoine Point is an amazing area of Kingston, and if you have a chance, you should get out there and explore. It's such a vital part of the conservation area in Kingston, which is massive. There's a lot of conservation areas around. It's an amazing part, and it's a place anyone can go to just recharge in this new world of being online virtually 24/7. We want to make sure that areas like Lemoine Point are able to be around for decades to come. The Friends of Lemoine Point is a vital part of the conservation efforts in the area. They are run by volunteers and raise most of the funding through donations and through membership fees. They have 3 specific goals. The first is to undertake programs and activities in order to protect and enhance Lemoine Point's natural environment. 2 is to promote public awareness and enjoyment of Lemoine Point Conservation Area as a place of nature. And the third is to advise and work with the Cataraqui Region Conservation Authority, or the CRCA, on the development and conservation of Lemoine Point.
They achieve this through different events and programs that they undertake. If you want to find out about more of these various events, we will have 2 sessions on events at 12:25 and 1:25. Some of the programs that the Friends of Lemoine Point run are the Heritage Forest Program, Native Plant Nursery, Invasive Species Control, programs and initiatives that contribute to the biodiversity of Lemoine Point, such as turtle nests and an osprey perch, trail management, making sure the area is accessible and representing the interests of the guests of Lemoine Point and the policies and planning. They also conduct random visitor surveys so they can best serve the area. We will get further into different conservation efforts in the conservation sessions coming up at 12:45 and 1:45.
So as mentioned earlier, Friends is run completely by a group of volunteers, and the easiest way that you can support their efforts is by donating or becoming a friend yourself. The cost of yearly membership is just $20, and if you have a second adult in the same household, the cost of their yearly membership is only $10. Becoming a friend of Lemoine Point entitles you to vote in their annual meetings as well as attend all their weekly meetings as well. If you just want to donate, you are able to as well. You can find the links to both donating and becoming a friend at the top of our vendor page. We also have the links in the description of the YouTube stream.
We are now going to open up the rest of our session to questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them into our chat. While you're typing any questions you might have in, we're going to show you a short video for you to enjoy.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right, we have two people joining us. Gemma is back. Thank you for coming back, Gemma, and also Tom is back. Thank you for joining again. If you guys have any questions, then you can just put them in the chat. So, do you guys have a favorite part of Lemoine Point?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'd have to say just the trails themselves. It's a great way to just get outside and take a break from my screen. And they got so many beautiful options that you can spend hours at Lemoine's Point and never be looking at the same thing twice. So it's a lot of great places to adventure and enjoy.
Absolutely. There's so many trails that like cut off from each other. It's hard to like remember once you're in the trails deep enough to like actually know where you are in like the trail itself, if that makes sense. But I remember when I was younger, there was this part of the trail where it was just a bunch of little hills, but there was also like the view of the water, and there was trees everywhere, and it was like that was like my favorite part. Whenever I can get to Lemoyne's Point, I always try to go to that spot.
Oh, so we do have a question from Tom. So his first question is, what does it mean to become a friend? Well, becoming a friend is very dear to my heart, Tom. But no, he meant of Lemoine Point. So, so to become a friend, you get to vote in the annual meeting as well as just go to each weekly meeting that they have, and also it's to help your community as well. So if you become a friend, the money you're paying every year, which is just $20, it's very affordable, does help keep the area open and help the conservation efforts, the biodiversity, everything. It's an amazing thing to do. And you just get to have positive thoughts of helping out your community and of helping the area and being able to explore it yourself. These donations and membership fees are a huge part of being able to keep the area open and keep the area accessible for everyone.
So true, Sonia. We want to be able to keep green spaces like this around for decades to come, and donations from our community are a vital part of that.
And we want to welcome Deanna to the stream as well. Thank you for joining us. Oh, she just left. But thank you for joining us for a little bit at least. If you guys wanted, we're gonna have about a few more minutes of questions. We're gonna break from this session at about 12:20. If you guys are on the page and we're waiting for our next session, which is on events, then you can look at all the stuff on our page. We have a video, we have Google Map, we have pictures, we have PDF. And if you guys have any more, yes, I think so too, Tom. People are booth surfing, which is great because there's so many great charities represented in here. We will play our video again, so if you guys can think of any questions, we'll give you time to think of it.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Yeah, so the idea behind that video was we came up with the concept of we want to make sure that people are able to recharge and reconnect with themselves in this hectic being online virtually 24/7 with everything online, which is an unfortunate reality, but just being able to go to Lemoine Point and reconnect with yourself, and also by donating, you can keep the area open for people to do that as well. One question I think people might want to know is, I know as college students, money is something that a lot of people maybe don't have a lot of money right now as college students. So what ways would you be able to support Lemoine Point without making a monetary donation?
That is a great question. And for anyone that's interested, to help out without having to make a donation, or if you're not looking to become a member at this time, there are still a lot of great opportunities to become a volunteer. So you can help with in fun different events like their nursery, where they collect different seeds and plants from the different areas to help with preservation efforts. So while you're not making a donation, you are donating a little bit of your time, but you are still helping to keep a beautiful green space like this open for decades to come.
Yes. And also by visiting the area, they see that there's a need and that people want to use the space. So just by visiting the area, you are helping as well. They do also conduct random visitor surveys, so that if you're there when they conduct a random visitor survey, they can tell them like what maybe areas you want to see improved, or if there's anything that you think they could add that will help a lot in their planning and policies with the CRCA.
Yeah. Also, maybe if there are some parents in chat having a hard time getting their kids to get outside and enjoy the fresh air, if they're interested in Pokemon Go, Lemoine Point has many great areas and to catch Pokemon and stuff like that. So just tell them that it's a hot spot and there's a lot of great Pokemon and shops around there to play. So it's a good, easy way to get them out of the house.
That's a great point, Aiden. I hadn't even thought of that, but yeah, Pokemon is a huge part. Even like college kids would enjoy that.
Yeah.
A lot of college kids who still play Pokemon Go. Hello, Terry. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for coming back, Tom, as well. We appreciate it. Another thing is, as someone who doesn't have a car or access to a car, and I rely on public transportation heavily, it is very accessible to get out to Lemoine Point and to get there. It's only about 1 kilometer to 1.5 kilometers, and it's a very pleasant walk. And yeah, it's very accessible. I've lived in a lot of cities, and this is one of the few cities that has accessibility to conservation areas like this, which is amazing.
That's true, Sonia. That's a great point. At the Kingston community at large, we're so lucky to have a green place of nature to go that's so close at hand.
Absolutely.
We do have a couple more minutes for questions, so maybe while people are thinking of questions, they can type into the chat. We can play our video for you, and maybe it will inspire some questions.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right. So yeah, again, we want to make sure that it's very important to people's mental health to be able to get away from screens. And I know a lot of people are finding isolation in the pandemic. So being able to just get out in nature can help cure that, not cure it, but can help curb that isolation that you might feeling. You'll see other people out and about. As long as you keep your distance, you can stay safe.
That's true, Sonia. Over COVID, I guess we all really kind of found that luxury in getting outside and having places like Lemoine Point to get out to and take walks and not only get away from our screens, but out of our houses as well.
I just want to bring up a comment that one of our guests had earlier, Garrett. He's a photographer. And as someone who also loves taking pictures, it's just a great place to take pictures. Oh, we have a question from Terry. So this will be the last question of the session. Is Lemoine Point just an open conservation area / green space, or are there organized programs that take place there? It's a great question, Terry. And it's both, but right now, with all we'll cover events in our next session, but all of the events have been moved to a bigger space to accommodate social distancing. They do conservation efforts every week, which we'll cover later in our conservation sessions. They do stuff like cleaning up trails, making things accessible, stuff like they clean up seeds for their annual plant sale so they can keep native species going. They do a lot of different things. But yeah, it's a great green space and conservation area as well. And I believe Lemoine Point is free to go into. There's other conservation areas that do cost money, but this one is free.
Yeah, free of charge. And Sonia, and right now the only stipulation is that although they aren't holding any events at Lemoine's Point specifically, as long as people are practicing proper social distancing measures, trails and the entire area remain open for our enjoyment.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you bring your dog, make sure they're on a leash.
Okay, so thank you everyone so far who's tuned in and asked those questions. Be sure to tune into our other sessions. We'll be talking about events at 12:25 and the conservation information at 12:45. So hope to see you then.
Hi guys, welcome and thank you for joining us for Friends of Lemoine Point. This session will be covering all the events hosted in our beautiful conservation areas and some of the great chances to get involved and outside. These events are the perfect way to enjoy these wonderful green spaces while also helping to support their preservation. Throughout the years, Friends of Lemoine Point, along with the CRCA, have worked hard to come together to offer these fun and exciting events to the local community.
This year may look a little different because of COVID-19, but don't worry. Many of these great programs have been modified for your safety and are still being run. Has anyone been to one of the outdoor conservation events before or heard of them?
So since we have a bit of delay with our stream, we'll give you a bit of a chance to answer and we'll play our video on Lemoine Point.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Well, it doesn't seem like anyone has been. That's okay. It's perfectly fine. That's why we're here today. If you haven't been to an event before, stay tuned. This session will be outlining some of the amazing events that are held. And if you're not able to stick around for the entirety of the session, we will have one more session on events in about an hour. So while Lemoine Point is currently open and available for enjoyment, registered events have been moved to the Little Creek Conservation Area until further notice in order to accommodate proper safety measures for COVID-19. The updates and a full event calendar can be found on the CRCA website, and there's a link to that calendar in the YouTube stream down below.
Events are designed to help participants get outside and enjoy the wonderful places of nature that we have to enjoy. All proceeds and fundraising from these fun events go right back into the organization and supporting preservation efforts. All events require pre-registration and typically cost between $20 and $35 depending on the event and size of your group.
Becoming a member of FLP is a wonderful way to support your community and keep our green spaces safe for all of us to enjoy. Friends manages and offers tons of different initiatives to help preserve Lemoine Point. And through the year, there are some key events for members to join in on. If you've tuned into our earlier sessions, you have heard about some of the Friends membership initiatives. For those just joining us now, we'll quickly outline some of the Friends preservation events.
So as Aiden just alluded to, we will give a brief overview here, but feel free to join into our next session to find out more. We'll be holding the second of 3 conservation sessions at 12:45. The first event is the spring cleanup and trail management, where members set out and help clean up the beautiful trails while they're out walking and enjoying the area. Friends provides gloves and bags and make it super easy to get involved. The invasive plant control, it's a huge aspect of conservation and is part of the weekly meetings where members come together to focus on specific invasive species removal to protect the native plants in the conservation area. They sell plants grown from their own nursery during the spring plant sale, and all proceeds go directly back into the organization and conservation programs. There's an annual tree planting event, which is a great event that helps extend Lemoine Point's forest cover. And don't forget about the Friends annual general meeting. Registered members, or Friends of Lemoine Point, have the opportunity to share their voice and be a part of the planning process for the organization. Members get to really be a part of the process and get involved in what's to come in the conservation of our beautiful place of nature. This would be a great thing to have if you have a teenager or that's interested in conservation or showing interest in conservation. This would be a great experience for them to attend meetings like this.
That's so true, Sonia, and a great point. And that's not all. On top of these wonderful events that are held regularly by the Friends of Lemoine Point, there are even more events geared simply to sharing and enjoying nature. These themed programs and guided tours, Friends and other local conservation groups have worked hard to come together and offer even more great ways to get outside. One of the first great events is the Rudolph Run and Walk fundraiser, a fun day of outdoors, fresh air, and making a difference. This year, with those who are in your COVID bubble, you can get outside and into nature on the picturesque Cataraqui Trail. The event is designed so that participants can choose between 2 and 5 kilometer options, or participate simply just by raising funds. Groups of the event are modified this year to accommodate social distancing, but each group member receives a festive Rudolph-inspired mask for participation. The group that raises the most from each team out of Napanee, Kingston, and Sydenham will win a Cataraqui Conservation annual pass to the Little Cataraqui Creek Conservation Area for 1 whole year.
Another event is the Forest Therapy Walks. They are offered in many different forms. Forest therapy is a mindful, healing, and connective practice inspired by the Japanese practice of forest bathing. Spending time in nature not only strengthens the human immune response and reduces stress, but also makes us more creative, mindful, and content in our lives. The beauty of forest therapy is that it connects humans and nature so that they both benefit from a renewed relationship. Everyone can benefit from a forest therapy walk. Anyone who is looking to de-stress, slow down, heal, and connect with nature. The CRCA and groups like FLP offer a ton of different sessions to help us join in and reconnect. All forest therapy events for only $20 per person, and all proceeds go right back into supporting the organizations.
Perfect. So in addition to the forest therapy walk that Aiden just covered, Friends also offers a version of forest therapy walks with your four-legged friend. Bring the whole family to this therapeutic day of connecting with nature. Join certified forest therapy guide Stana and her puppy Theo, who will together guide you with your furry friend. Your time in the forest will be a chance to deepen your relationship with yourself, with others, with the more than human world, and with your dog. A dog parent's dream, this event is an opportunity to engage with your dog's natural ways to support you into the practice of forest therapy. A different experience than other forest therapy walks, this event brings the energy of your four-legged friends and a chance to reconnect with your loved one in their natural environment.
Another great option for the forest therapy walk is the Green Friday. This year, instead of Black Friday, turn it into a Green Friday. Instead of online shopping, this event is held to help you unplug and give yourself the gift of nature. Take an hour in the forest with Green Friday and open up your senses to the present moment. Everything is an invitation. Participants follow what feels comfortable to them. The experience can involve walking, sitting, standing, or simply lying down. The beauty of the forest therapy walk is that it connects humans and nature so that both can benefit from the renewed relationship. And during each walk, participants have the chance to share in circle what they are noticing with others. This is another great event and way to slow down, heal, and connect with nature.
And that's not all. There are even more forest therapy walks to join in on, like Giving Tuesday and Firelight Evening. There's something for everybody. And this year, of course, all events have been modified to accommodate safety. We will now open up to questions. While you are typing in your questions to the chat, we just have a short video to enjoy to show you. Please enjoy.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right, well, we wait for some questions. We have about 5 minutes left for questions before we end the session. But I just wanted to get both of you and Sam, both you, Aiden, and Sam, what event out of the ones that we've talked about do you think you would like the most? I know, Aiden, you have a dog, so that forest therapy walk sounds pretty awesome for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like, especially like a time right now, just to de-stress yourself, to go outside, enjoy the natural elements. Of course, take the dog for a walk is a benefit too. I'm sure he'll love that. Yeah, forest therapy walks seem like a great time.
Absolutely. I was going to say maybe the Green Friday one that they're holding, instead of getting a day away from the screen and unplugging and getting outdoors. I think it sounds like a really great option.
Mm-hmm. Plus, with Black Friday, if you're going to the store on Black Friday, you're getting a huge crowd, and right now that doesn't seem to. It never seems too attractive to me, but especially now with like COVID and social distancing, that sounds like a nightmare. I think the Rudolph walk / run sounds like something that we need nowadays. People need some cheer, and it sounds like a great way to like get out, have some fun, and just that Rudolph mask sounds like just a great thing to get.
Welcome back, Garrett.
Speaking of the dog forest therapy walk, we did have a comment earlier from Jessica about how much her dog loves Lemoines. So she tends to swim there in the summer, and that's a great thing. They also have a dog area with a fence. I believe it's fenced in.
Yep, it's fenced in.
So yeah, even like taking your dog there, even for just a hike or in the dog area, is a great area to go.
They actually have it. So there's a kids outdoor like play stream for them to like play or whatever, and the dog park is right here. So you can have the dog playing with other dogs, the kids playing with other kids, and you can sit there and de-stress yourself too.
Get a bit of time away when you're still with them, but that would be awesome. What else? So as someone, I know I've mentioned this in earlier sessions, but as someone who doesn't have a car to get out to amazing areas, I do like that it's so easy to get to Lemoine Point from a bus stop, from public transportation. It's about a 1.5 kilometer walk, which isn't that long. And it's a nice walk too. Sam can attest to that.
That's right. The walk up to Lemoine Point is beautiful. For anyone that's seen our video during our stream, that was all shot at Lemoine Point, and part of it was during the walk up there. So great day outdoors and fresh air and very picturesque.
We might have time for one question if anyone has any. But if not, we could talk about accessibility of the events. Since I know Lemoine Point is very accessible right now, but unfortunately they had to move it to Little Cataraqui Creek Conservation Area, which is accessible as well, but they have more information on their website on the accessibility of that area. And if you have any suggestions for events, they do have a contact form that you can contact them, and you can suggest events or find out more from them as well. And again, like we said earlier, the link to the calendar of events is in the description of the stream. And hello, Robbie, how are you? I think we're going to end the session. If you want to wrap up, Aiden.
Cool. So thanks everyone who's stopped by and all your questions. The next session will take place at 12:45. Hope to see you there.
everyone. Welcome to our session on the conservation efforts at Lemoine Point. Actually saw we had a couple of people join us. We had Watsy join us recently and Anonymous, as well as a couple more Anonymous. So welcome to the folks that have joined us. This is our session on conservation efforts at Lemoine Point and all the great work that Friends of Lemoine Point does. One of the great things about becoming a member or a friend of Lemoine Point is the opportunity to learn about all the interesting ways the group works to preserve and protect our conservation area. FLP does some amazing work to help the conservation and biodiversity of the area, which is very important in the Kingston area right now.
So true, Sonia. Some of the great efforts that Friends of Lemoine Point run are the Heritage Forest Program. This is a tree planting program that establishes groves of assorted species of native trees and shrubs in order to enhance the existing forest. And volunteers plant up to 1,000 trees at these community planting events, and they fund all of these events through membership fees and donations. Another initiative is the Native Plant Nursery, where they use seeds and cuttings collected from the native plants in the area to build a nursery at the north end of Lemoine Point. This helps the plants to be healthier and well adapted, and is also a great and less expensive option for the group. This is funded by donations and fundraising and is 100% volunteer run. They sell trees and shrubs and wildflowers that are grown at the nursery to help fund its operations.
Part of conservation is eliminating invasive species that are destroying native flowers and plants. The volunteers at FLP help control invasive species to encourage native plants to flourish. The main focus of their conservation efforts is the garlic mustard, which is displacing native spring wildflowers, dog strangling vine that is covering native shrubs, and European buckthorn. Biodiversity is a very important part of our ecosystem. FLP undertakes various projects and initiatives that conserve or enhance the biodiversity of Lemoine Point. The biodiversity efforts are primarily aimed at protection of or development of habitats for existing animals and bird species. Currently, they are working on things like turtle nesting sites and building a perch for osprey.
And those are biodiversity is a very important part of conservation. And the most popular part of Lemoine Point, or if you've been to any conservation area or hiking spot or anything, there is the trails that you can explore. The Friends of Lemoine Point helps manage the trails to enable enjoyable walking and to encourage guests to stay on the paths. But when you stay on the designated path, you help protect the interior habitat of both animal species and plant species. The Friends of Lemoine Point wants to make sure that everyone can use the area no matter what their physical limitations are. Currently, about half the trails are accessible, the washrooms are remodeled, and picnic tables are wheelchair accessible. This is very important because now there's a lot of rules and regulations over accessibility, and by being thorough and making it accessible, that really helps the area stay open and be able to do all the great things they are doing. So they fund projects like these through fundraising and donations. Along with accessibility, FLP helps in the policy and planning of the area. While this work does not seem like it's directly conservation, it does help designate how they can help with the conservation of the area through the CRCA.
And so how can you help? The biggest way that you can help is by donating or becoming a friend of Lemoine Point. Donations and membership fees fund a lot of the conservation efforts that they undertake, and all donations and membership fees are tax deductible as well. If you can donate to this amazing organization, you can click the button on our page or in the link at the description of our stream. You can also become a volunteer. They have a sign-up page on their website, which we've also added a link into the description of our chat here.
We will now open the session up to any questions you may have. While you're typing your questions to the chat, we'll just have a short video to show you. Enjoy.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right, so the purpose of that video was so that we could make it's very important to reconnect with nature and to unplug yourself from your electronics, from your phone, from your laptop, at least a little bit every week and hopefully every day. But we want to make sure that everyone can use the area for years to come because it's such an important area to the Kingston region. So welcome to all the guests we have. There's quite a bit that joined. So if you guys have any questions, you can either write them in the YouTube comment section of the video or in the Wise chat beside the video. That would be amazing as well.
And on top of questions, we'd love to hear if anyone that's joined us in our stream has ever visited Lemoine Point just to enjoy it as a member of our community.
Mm-hmm. We've had a few people that have, in earlier sessions, have talked about how much they love the area, and then also some people who have never been there that have lived in Kingston for a while. So it'd be really great to hear from you guys. And we actually welcome to Laura to our stream as well.
Hi, Laura.
Hello.
We can show some of the earlier comments, but one of them was Jessica Avery, who said her dog loves Lemoines. She tends to swim there in the summer, and it's a great area to bring your dog. There's a dog park, there's trails, there's water. It's just amazing. And we actually have a comment from Laura, where did it go? There we go. Thank you, Laura. And yeah, it's a great place to connect to nature and to really ground yourself. It's an amazing area, and more people in Kingston. I think it's a pretty hidden gem. There's lots of people that visit there, but I don't think enough people know about it.
Absolutely.
It's true, and it's such a great and vital resource to have, really at our fingertips. As you were saying earlier, Sonia, that although you don't have a car, it's still a really amazing and easy place to get to simply by public transportation. Mm-hmm. And there's a beautiful walk at the end. It's only about 1 kilometer up to Lemoine Point, but it's just as beautiful as the trails themselves. So the whole experience is really picturesque and a great chance to get outside.
And Aiden, you were saying in another session about Pokemon Go.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Pokemon, I know Lemoine Point from experience, they have a lot of stops and gyms for people to play. So if your kids are interested in Pokemon, it's a great, easy way to get them out of the house. Or even if yourself are interested in Pokemon, Lemoine Point is a great spot to go to catch them all.
And we also had a comment earlier from Garrett, who's a photographer, about taking photography in the area. And it's just it's such a picturesque place. And I know, like, the video that we had up, we can replay it again, but Sam got such great videos and great clips from it. So while you guys are maybe thinking of some questions, I'm going to play the video again for you guys, and you can see how beautiful the area is.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
We actually have a question from Laura. So I see become a friend at the top of the page. I will review, but what does this entail?
So becoming a friend of Lemoine Point entitles you to have a voice in their annual meeting, and you really get to be a part of the preservation of the organization and have a say and vote in the direction that they take.
Yeah, it's a really great way to help the community as well. So not only are you helping yourself by being able to have a voice in the conservation, the preservation of the area, you also can feel good about doing it. It's only $20 a month, and the second adult in the household is only $20 a year, and the second adult in the household is only $10 for the year. So that's a really reasonable price, and it helps fund their initiatives. It helps fund stuff like the native plant nursery, which helps them get more money because they're able to clean up seeds and branches and everything from the trails, and they put that right back into their nursery, which is amazing.
Absolutely. And it also helps fund areas like this and will help keep them open for decades to come.
Yeah. The CRCA which is the general body, it has 11 areas in the Kingston and regions. So having an organization like Friends of Lemoine Point that can take care of one of the 11 regions and sort of take the pressure off of the CRCA is amazing.
It's true, Sonia. Really, when people are thinking of conservation areas, they don't tend to think of the upkeep and effort that it takes to keep these places looking as beautiful as they are and help keep them open. From things like trail management to, as you said, keeping their nursery going to help with tree planting and keeping their growth full and plush. There's a lot that goes into it. So having a dedicated organization like Friends of Lemoine Point is really wonderful, and we're so lucky in Kingston to have not only our areas but dedicated members of the community that are willing to work on it.
All right, it looks like a couple more people have joined us, so welcome. We're glad you guys have joined us. So basically, the other things you can do to support Friends of Lemoine Point financially is, as we mentioned earlier, you can just donate. All donations and membership fees are tax deductible. So at the end of the year, when you're doing when you're doing your taxes, you can actually get some credit back for that. And you can also become a volunteer if you don't have the financial means to donate or become a member. And that makes it so they have a lot of hands to help with all their conservation efforts. They also do that as the spring plant sale from their nursery. Every spring, they sell shrubs, wildflowers, trees. So that's a great way to support it and make your home look amazing.
Any more questions? You can just post them in the chat. This is a Q&A right now. Welcome. Anonymous, lots of anonymouses. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys joining us and learning about this great charity. When we were looking up what charity to pick for this trade show, we wanted to make sure that we would pick a charity that we were all passionate about. We all love nature. We all love the area as well. And we picked it because we thought a lot of people would pick more well-known charities. When we presented it and said we want to do that, not a lot of people knew about this charity, which is a shame because they do a lot of really great work.
Hello, Mr. Agum. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Hope everything is well.
So we also had Gemma rejoin us and Guillermo rejoined us as well. Welcome, guys, and a few anonymous. It's really great to see everyone here, and I hope you're enjoying the trade show. We've worked really hard on doing everything, so I'm glad you guys have seen all in general, the whole class is hard work as well.
Absolutely. Oh, and look, Beck, we have even more people joining our stream. Thank you so much, guys.
So we probably have time for one more question. If no one has any more questions, we can play the video again to give you time to put those questions in the chat, either on YouTube or in our Wise chat there. So we'll give you guys a bit of time since we do have a bit of a delay.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Maybe before we wrap up this session, we will have another session at 1:05, but maybe we can each say what we love about Lemoine Point, just to wrap it up. So I can go first. I love just the nature. I love being out in nature and just getting away from screens and everything. So having such an amazing area of nature with trails and everything is really such a benefit to the city.
I can't agree more, Sonia. My favorite part has to be the trails and just being able to get out and take a walk in such a beautiful, picturesque area and green space. It's really amazing.
Absolutely. I love the view of Lake Ontario. If you're there early enough in the morning or late enough at night, you get to see the sunset or sunrise. It's also great for pictures. Welcome, Maddie, for joining. Welcome, Chris, for joining.
All right. I think that ends our session on the conservation. And Eden, if you want to tell them when we have our next ones.
Sure. So we'll be back at 1:05 with another session. If you wanted to join us again or you tuned in a little bit later, we'll talking about this an overview and some of the events, and then back to conservation efforts. See you then.
everyone, welcome back. This is our third session on the overview of the Friends of Lemoine Point. We'll have 2 more sessions in this hour, but this one will focus on just the general information about our chosen charity. We're very excited for you guys to join us, so welcome. We see some anonymous, and then Haley and Liam have joined. Welcome, guys. So the Friends of Lemoine, my name is Sonia, and I'm joined by Sam and Aiden. The Friends of Lemoine Point is a very important organization in the Kingston area because they do a lot of really great conservation work in the CRCA. So for those of you who are not familiar with the CRCA or maybe aren't from the Kingston area, and that's perfectly fine, the CRCA stands for the Cataraqui Region Conservation Authority. Now they look after about 11 different areas in our regions, but we are focusing on Lemoine Point and more prominently the Friends of Lemoine Point. Now, we just wanted to do a brief sort of survey before we get completely into the session of who that is watching the session, who has visited Lemoine Point. And since we are on a bit of delay, we will show you our video on Lemoine Point, and you'll have time to answer in the chat or in the YouTube stream. So we'll just play the video for you and enjoy.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Great. So Lemoine Point is such an amazing part of Kingston. It's a place anyone can go to just recharge. In this new world of being online virtually 24/7, we want to make sure that areas like Lemoine Point are able to be around for decades to come. The Friends of Lemoine Point is a vital part of the conservation efforts in the area. They are run by volunteers and raise most of the funding through donations and membership fees. They have 3 specific goals. 1, to undertake programs and activities to promote and enhance Lemoine Point's natural environment. 2, to promote public awareness and enjoyment of Lemoine Point Conservation Area as a place of nature. And 3, to advise and work with the Cataraqui Region Conservation Authority, the CRCA, on the development and conservation of Lemoine Point.
They achieve this through different events and programs that they undertake. If you wanted to find out about the various events, we'll have one last session on events at 1:25. Some of the programs that the Friends of Lemoine Point run are the Heritage Forest Program, Native Plant Nursery, Invasive Species Control, programs and initiatives that contribute to the biodiversity of Lemoine Point, such as turtle nests and osprey perch, trail management, making sure that the area is accessible and representing the interests of the guests of Lemoine Point, and in the policies and planning. They also conduct random visitor surveys so they can best serve the area. We will get into further information about different conservation efforts in our conservation session at 1:45.
See, a few more people have joined us. So welcome. Hello, Kathy, Anonymous, Tom, and a bunch of people. Jekyll's, thank you for joining us. We will, if you guys have any questions, we will answer them at the end of the session. So feel free to ask them in the chat, and we'll answer them as soon as we get done letting you know about all the great things that Lemoine Point does, Friends of Lemoine Point does. So as mentioned earlier, Friends is run by a group of volunteers, and the easiest way you can support their efforts is by donating or becoming a friend yourself. The cost of a yearly membership is just $20. However, if you have another adult in the same household, the cost of their membership is just $10 for the year. So it makes it very cost effective for 2 people to have a membership there. Becoming a friend of Lemoine Point entitles you to vote in their annual meetings. If you just wanted to donate, you are able to as well. You can find the links to both donating and becoming a friend at the top of our vendor page. We also have the links in the description of this stream.
We are now going to open up the rest of this session to questions. So if you have any, please feel free to type them into our chat. And since we experiencing a bit of a delay today. We'll give you guys just a few moments to type those questions in. And while you do that, we'll play a short video for you.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right, so the purpose of that video was to try to get people to see how they can recharge themselves and get away from their screens by helping out Lemoine Point. And we did discuss some monetary ways to do that. Other ways is to become a volunteer, which is completely free. You can participate in all of their conservation programs, as well as you can just visit the area. Visiting the area gives them an idea of how many people are using the area, places they need to improve, all of that, and it's amazing.
It's true. And with members like people from the Friends of Lemoine Point, when you visit the area, they also conduct random visitor surveys. And so by being there and being willing to participate and get involved, you can offer any pointers or facts about the area that you might want them to know about. And that just continues to get you involved and be a part of the Friends of Lemoine Point community.
And yes, Kathy, that was we did make that video. That was for our assignment for Cam's class for video.
And Kathy is also asking about any of the volunteer opportunities there. So they do have a lot of great opportunities. One of my personal favorites is working at the native plant nursery. Volunteers can be a part of the tree planting efforts where they plant up to 1,000 trees for every event. And you also get to be a part of their seed and plant collection, which helps support the nursery and its causes. It's a really inexpensive way for Friends to operate, and it also helps the plants be better adapted and diverse to the area.
Yeah, and the native plant nursery, we did mention it earlier. They have a annual spring sale where you can buy all of the items that they grow in the nursery, so shrubs, trees, wildflowers, and everything. And it's a great way to financially support Lemoine Point and make your space at home or wherever you are lookable as well. So while we're waiting on some more questions, maybe each of us can say what our favorite part of Lemoine Point is. My favorite part is the trails because it's just so peaceful and there's so many great trails to explore as well.
Absolutely. I think one of our visitors earlier was saying this, but one of my favorite parts about going to Lemoine Point is walking through the trails with the photography opportunities. So I love getting out there and getting a day outside and in the sun or the fresh air and getting a chance with my camera to get some really great shots of such a beautiful, picturesque area.
Absolutely. For me personally, it's the part of the trails where you get to see the view of Lake Ontario. And I'm a huge water guy, so water, like you can see the sunset sometimes if you're there late at night, or maybe if you're there early enough in the morning, see the sunrise. It's great opportunities to take some more photos as well. Yeah.
And Kathy has another great question of when is the annual spring sale? I don't believe they have announced the date yet. COVID might have some restrictions for it, but we'll touch on events later in our event session, but they've moved pretty much all their events to Little Cataraqui Creek to allow for social distancing. No problem.
Thanks for the question, Kathy.
So the thing I really like about Lemoine Point, is how easy it is to get for someone who doesn't have access to a vehicle. So I rely a lot on public transportation to get around, with public transportation and walking. and it is accessible. It's about 1.5 kilometers away from the nearest public transportation bus stop, and the walk to Lemoine Point from the bus stop is fantastic.
I couldn't agree more, Sonia. It's just the whole experience. It's a wonderful day to get outside.
And access to Lemoine Point, it doesn't cost anything to get in. They just ask that you make sure you're social distancing and respecting the area by having things like your dog on the leash and everything like that. Speaking of dogs, Aiden, you were stating in another session about their dog areas.
Yeah, they have a dog park. It's near the one entrance of Lemoyne's Point. It's a great spot if you have a dog and you have some kids because there's a play structure for kids. And then like a couple feet over here, there's a dog park with a fenced in, so you can let your dog play while your kids are playing, and you can just sit there and de-stress after your long work week and relax, take in the fresh air. It's a great spot.
Welcome to everyone who has joined in. A lot of anonymous, so thank you all for coming. We really appreciate the support and for you checking out the charity. If you're wondering about the buttons at the top of the page, if you joined in late, the first button is Become a Friend, and that is basically getting a membership to Lemoine Point, just $20 for the year. And the other one is a donate button. Also, in the links of the stream, we do have all of the links, as well as a link to the event calendar and a link to becoming a volunteer. So if you're ever wondering about that, there's information on there. Sam, what kind of accessibility for someone who maybe has physical limitations does Lemoine Point have?
So that's actually one of the efforts and initiatives that Lemoine Point has specifically set out to undertake. So they have gone out of their way to make the trails and picnic tables, washrooms, everything from the parking lot down to the trail enjoyment themselves has been modified so that it's accessible to the entire community. And so, yeah, so it's a great day for anyone looking to get outside and enjoy a green space to go.
Yeah, and as Kathy has alluded to in the chat, a lot of these anonymous users are the first year, so welcome all of you. Hope you're enjoying your first year so far. I know it's a little different than what we experienced, a little different than what you've probably ever experienced in school as well. But it's a great program, so you're going to enjoy yourself. We probably have time for one more question if anyone has any. We will play the video for those that have joined in a little late, just to give you a little bit of the overall vibe of the area.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right, so it doesn't look like we have any last minute questions. So Aiden will let you guys know what we have in store next for our other sessions.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining. We'll be sure to tune into our other sessions. We'll be talking about events at 1:25, 5 minutes from now, and conservation information at 1:45. Hope to see you there.
Hi guys, welcome and thank you for joining us for Friends of Lemoine Point. I see that we have some new people joining into our stream, so thank you so much for joining us. This session will be covering all the events hosted in our beautiful conservation area and some of the great chances to get involved and outside. These events are the perfect way to enjoy these wonderful green spaces while also helping to support their preservation. Throughout the years, Friends of Lemoine Point, along with the CRCA, have worked hard have worked hard to come together to offer fun and exciting events to the local community.
This year may look a little different because of COVID-19, but don't worry. Many of these great programs have been modified for your safety and are still being run. Has anyone been to one of the outdoor conservation events before or heard of them?
Now, since we are running on a bit of delay to give you guys time to answer, we will play our video on Lemoine Point. So it gives you a bit of time to answer if you've been there or if you haven't.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Well, it looks like a few of us have joined. A few of you guys have joined us. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. It doesn't look like anyone has done any of the conservation areas. That's okay. That's why we're all here today. If you haven't been to an event before, stay tuned. This session, we will outline some of the amazing events that are being held. While Lemoine Point is currently open and available for our enjoyment, registered events have been moved to a bigger space at Little Creek Conservation Area until further notice to accommodate proper safety measures. Updates and a full event calendar, can be found on the CRCA website, and the link has been provided in the YouTube stream, in the description of the YouTube stream.
Events are designed to help participants get outside and enjoy the wonderful place of nature that we have to enjoy. All proceeds and fundraising from these fun events go right back into the organizations and supporting their preservation efforts. All events require pre-registration and typically cost between $20 and $35, depending on the event and size of your group.
Becoming a member of FLP is a wonderful way to support your community and keep our green spaces safe for all of us to enjoy. Friends manages and offers tons of different initiatives to help preserve Lemoine Point. And through the year, there are some key events for members to join us in on. If you've tuned in to our earlier sessions, or you have heard about some of the Friends membership initiatives, but for those who are joining us now, we'll quickly outline some of Friends preservation events.
So before I get into that, we do have a couple comments. So the first one was from Chris. Chris says Lemoine Point is super nice. We couldn't agree more. And the second one is from Kaylee. She says, I haven't been there before, but it looks beautiful. I will definitely have to check it out. We do highly recommend you do that. It's such an amazing part of Kingston, and you wouldn't expect having that in a city at all.
Absolutely.
So we'll just give a brief overview here, but if you want, and if you just feel free to join into our next session to find out more. We will be holding our final conservation session at 1:45. Members set out and help clean up the beautiful trails during their spring cleanup and trail management while they're out walking and enjoying the area. Gloves and bags are always provided by Friends of Lemoine Point and make it super easy to get involved. Invasive plant control is a huge aspect of the conservation and is part of the weekly meetings where members come together and focus on specific invasive species removal to protect the native plants in the conservation area. They sell plants that they grow in their own nursery during their spring plant sale, although the date for that has not been announced yet. Just if you follow their website and look at their event calendar, they'll probably announce it. You'll probably see when they announce it. So they sell all the plants they grow, so you can buy shrubbery, trees, and wildflowers and make your area look really nice in your own house and your yard. And it helps fund the nursery as well. The annual tree planting event, which is a great event that helps extend Lemoine Point's forest cover. And don't forget, they also have an annual general meeting. where registered members have the opportunity to share their voice and be a part of the planning process for the organization. Members get to really be a part of the process and get involved in what's to come in the conservation of our beautiful place of nature.
And that's not all. On top of all of these wonderful events that are held regularly by the Friends of Lemoine Point, there are even more events geared simply to sharing and enjoying nature. With themed programs and guided tours, Friends and other local conservation groups have worked hard to come together and offer even more great ways to get outside. One of the first great events is the Rudolph Run and Walk fundraiser, a fun day of outdoor, fresh air, and making a difference. This year, with those who are in your COVID bubble, you can get outside and into nature on the picturesque Cataraqui Trail. The event is designed so participants can choose from either a 2 or 5 kilometer option, or participants can just raise funds. Groups and events are modified this year to accommodate social distancing, but each group member receives a festive Rudolph-inspired mask for participation. And the group that raises the most from each team out of Napanee, Kingston, and Sydenham will win a Cataraqui Conservation annual pass to the Little Cataraqui Creek Conservation Area for 1 whole year.
Another event is the Forest Therapy Walks. They are offered in many different forms. Forest therapy is a mindful, healing, and connective practice inspired by the Japanese practice of forest bathing. Spending time in nature not only strengthens the human immune response and reduces stress, but also makes us more creative, mindful, and content in our lives. The beauty of forest therapy is that it connects humans and nature so that they both benefit from a renewed relationship. Anyone can benefit from a forest therapy walks. Anyone who is looking to de-stress, slow down, heal, and connect with nature. The CRCA and groups like FLP offer a ton of different sessions to help us all join in and reconnect. All forest therapy events for only $20 per person, and all proceeds go right back into supporting the organization.
So in addition to the forest therapy walk that Aiden had just mentioned, Friends also offers a different type of forest therapy walk. And this is one that you can take part in with your 4-legged friend. Bring the whole family to this therapeutic day of connecting with nature. Join certified forest therapy guide Stana and her puppy Theo, who together will guide you with your furry friend. Your time in the forest will be a chance to deepen your relationship with yourself, others, the more than human world, and your dog. A dog parent's dream. This event is an opportunity to engage with your dog's natural ways in order to support you into the practice of forest therapy. It's a different kind of experience than other forest therapy walks. This event brings the energy of your 4-legged friends and a chance to connect with your loved one in their natural environment.
That sounds like a great one for sure. Another great option for the forest therapy walks is Green Friday. So this year, instead of Black Friday, turn it into Green Friday. Instead of online shopping, this event is held to help you unplug and give yourself the gift of nature. Take an hour in the forest with Green Friday and open up your senses to the present moment. Everything is an invitation, and participants follow what feels comfortable to them. The experience can involve walking, sitting, standing, or simply lying down. The beauty of forest therapy is that it connects humans and nature so that both benefit from the renewed relationship. During each walk, participants have the chance to share in circle what they're noticing with others. This is another great event and way to slow down, heal, and connect with nature.
And that's not all. There are even more forest therapy walks to join in on, like Giving Tuesday and Firelight Evening. There's something for everybody. And this year, of course, all events have been modified to accommodate safety. We will now open it up to questions. While you are typing your questions to the chat, we'll have a short video to show you. Enjoy.
Sorry, Aiden. Before we get into the video, we just had a couple of questions, comments that popped up in the chat. So
Absolutely.
Rob says Lemoine Point is it's fun to go to. We definitely agree. That's it's one of the nicest areas in Kingston, in my opinion. Actually, one of the nicest areas that I've seen in a city. I love it. And then Guillermo also commented on our YouTube feed. Sounds like a great place to visit and go for a nice fresh air walk. Definitely, yeah, we definitely agree with that. I think we can all attest to how peaceful it is there.
Absolutely.
So here is the video. So we'll give you guys some time to type in any questions that you may have.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
What a great video. And for anyone that is in our session right now, our team member Sonia was the one that edited that beautiful video, and it's shot footage from the Lemoine Point area.
Sam did a great job shooting it. Really lots of great footage to work with.
Talk about a great day of fresh air outside.
Yeah.
I guess while we're waiting for questions, maybe each of us can say what event we think we would like the most out of what they offer. So Aiden, which one do you think you would like? I think I have a feeling which one you would want to do the most.
Yeah, probably the forest therapy walk with my dog. I'm sure he'll enjoy. I know dogs enjoy going for walks probably more than anybody, so that'll be a bonus for him, and also just a nice de-stressor of the week of school and whatever is going on in your life, but also just take in the nice scenery around you.
Absolutely. And we just got a comment in our stream here from Kaylee, and it says that, in your opinion, what time of year is best to go to Lemoine Point? So really, Kaylee, the great option is that Lemoine Point is open to us all year round. Personally, I love fall. I love to see those beautiful colors everywhere, but it doesn't mean that it's not enjoyable all year long.
Also, if you're not afraid of cold weather, winter is a perfect time to go. It's not as busy as it would be in fall and summer, and still very beautiful. All the snow, the frozen water, everything will be great because it's right on the lake. So you'll see all that beautiful and go for an early sunrise and a late sunset, and you're all set there. It would be amazing to go to.
I agree. But also,
so sorry.
I was going to say, Joe, like the summer is also a great time because I don't know if you like to run or jog, but putting in some music, going for a nice scenic run at Lemoine Point and that some nice hot weather would also be a good time.
Yes.
That is a great point, Eden. And Sonia, do you have a favorite spot?
I really just like hiking. I don't have a favorite season. I just like, it's just such a peaceful place no matter what. I'm not a huge fan of hot weather, so the summer there's lots of shade, which is really nice, and it helps you stay cool. And since it's right by the water, you get that cool wind off of the water as well. For events, I think in this time of COVID, I think the Rudolph run and walk would be really good to bring cheer to people because you see people running around with their Rudolph masks on. It'd just be so great. And also, if you are curious, if you have an idea for an event, they do have a contact form on their website. You can always suggest an event and see what they say. If maybe they have a similar event to the one you're suggesting, and maybe you didn't know about it, they'll let you know about that one as well.
Absolutely.
Great. And Sonia, I think you mentioned it earlier, but if anyone is interested in the events, we've posted the link to the event calendar so that you can bookmark it to your computers and always stay up to date on when the next event will be coming up.
Yes. We might have time for one more question. I'm not sure exactly, but if anyone has any questions, we can answer probably one more for the end of this session. And if we don't answer your question in this session and it pops up while we're in our break, we can answer it in the next one. And this stream will stay public on YouTube. So if you want to refer back to any of the sessions where maybe you came in halfway through, you can do that as well.
Absolutely. So thanks everyone for engaging with us. So our next session on conservation efforts will take place in 5 minutes at 1:45. I hope to see you there.
everyone. Welcome to our final session on the conservation efforts at Lemoine Point and our final session of this trade show. We're so happy for you guys to have joined us throughout, and we are hoping that you will be able to check out hope you were able to check out some of the other amazing charities during the show. I'm just going to see if anyone has joined us that we haven't said hi to. You, a bunch of anonymous people. I'm guessing they're the first years from that Kathy sent. So
Hi,
thank you for
guys.
joining us live. So one of the great things about becoming a FLP member is the opportunity to learn about all the interesting ways the group works to preserve and protect our conservation area. They do some amazing work to help the conservation and biodiversity of the area. And with the holidays coming up, you can gift a membership, and that'll be an amazing gift for someone on your list who loves conservation and who's interested in nature. Give them a great, valuable experience, and it's very, very cheap. We'll get into the pricing later.
What a great point, Sonia. And some of the great conservation efforts that that you can gift a membership to, and if they become, would be a part of, is the Heritage Forest Program. This is a tree planting program that establishes groves of assorted species of native trees and shrubs in order to enhance and protect the existing forest in Lemoine Point. Volunteers plant up to 1,000 trees at these community planting events, and they fund all of these events through membership fees and donations. Another great initiative is the Native Plant Nursery, where they use seeds and cuttings collected from native plants in the area to build a nursery at the north end of Lemoine Point. This helps the plants in the area to be healthier and well adapted, and it's also a great and less expensive option. Again, this is funded by donations and fundraising and is 100% volunteer run. They sell trees and shrubs and wildflowers that are grown in the nursery to help its operation.
Part of conservation is eliminating invasive species that are destroying native flowers and plants. The volunteers at FLP help control invasive species to encourage native plants to flourish. The main focus of conservation efforts is the garlic mustard, which is displacing native wild spring flowers. Dog strangling vine, that is covering native shrubs, and European buckthorn. Biodiversity is a very important part of our ecosystem. FLP undertakes various projects and initiatives that conserve or enhance the biodiversity of Lemoine Point. The biodiversity efforts are primarily aimed at the protection of or development of habitats for existing animals and bird species. Currently, they are working on things like turtle nesting sites and building a perch for osprey.
Awesome. Yeah. And we are taking questions at the end of this session. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to either put them in our Wise chat on our vendor page or in the YouTube comment section of the stream. So if you've been to a conservation area or any place where there's hiking or camping, all of that, the most popular part is often the trails, and Lemoine Point is no exception. The Friends of Lemoine Point helps manage the trails to enable enjoyable walking and to encourage guests to stay on the paths. By staying on the designated paths, you can help protect interior habitat. Friends of Lemoine Point wants to make sure that everyone can use the area no matter what their physical limitations are. This is super important because in today's world, people are facing a lot of isolation. They would need places to get out, and having an accessible area is a huge thing in Kingston. Currently, about half the trails are accessible, washrooms are remodeled, and picnic tables are wheelchair accessible. They fund projects like these through fundraising and donations. Along with accessibility, FLP helps in the policy and planning of the area along with the CRCA. This work, while it does not seem like it's directly conservation, helps designate how they can help with the conservation of the area and make it accessible year-round and for anyone to use.
And so how can you help? The biggest way that you can is by donating or becoming a friend of Lemoine Point. Donations and membership fees fund a lot of the conservation efforts that they undertake. And all donations and membership fees are also tax deductible as well. If you can donate to this amazing organization, you can find buttons to do so at the top of our page, or we've also submitted links in the description of our stream. And you can also become a volunteer. So they have a volunteer sign up page on their website, which is also linked into our stream as well.
We will now open this session up to any questions you may have. While you're typing your questions to the chat, we'll just have a short video to show you. Enjoy.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
All right, so while we maybe wait for a few questions to come in, maybe we should talk about what our favorite part of Lemoine Point is, since our trade show is about to wrap up. And like, we love to gush about this area because it's so amazing. So Sam, did you want to go first?
Sure. I'd have to say that one of my favorite parts of Lemoine Point is just the trails themselves. Having that really great space to take that walk and get away from my computer and out of the house. And it's also a really great place for photography as well.
Yeah, I like to say that the views on some of the parts of the park with the lake is a great just for pictures in general, or even just some parts in the fall, especially where there's so many trees, and it's just makes it look like looks like it's like footage of a movie. It's just so pretty in there.
Yeah, I would have to say that my favorite part is definitely the trails as well. But I love that they have picnic tables. So if you want to go for a picnic, even like they have green space, so you can bring a blanket, bring some food, all that. It's just lovely. Just make sure you clean up your trash and don't leave anything behind. That's important.
Good point.
And Aiden, you were talking in an earlier session about Pokemon Go in the park, in the area, sorry.
Yeah, so they have many, they're called gyms, which is this kind of hot spots you can go to, I don't know, catch them all, I guess you want to say it. But if you have kids or maybe your friends that are in your COVID bubble, they can, you guys can go to Lemoyne Point and, catch them all.
Catch them all.
So true. So many great opportunities to just get outside and enjoy the area. Besides Pokemon Go, I think you were mentioning as well, Eden, that geocaching, which I thought was a great suggestion and a really fun way to make, just a walk in the trails, also a bit of a challenge and an activity and an adventure.
Yeah. So yeah, geocaching, it's been a while since I've geocached there, but they have many different they're pretty much little puzzles to try and find these little caches of loot or whatever it is. It just depends on what the people have left behind. So it's good for, a family time on the Sunday afternoon. It's good to maybe, if there's lots of first years here, connecting with some of your other first years, going trying to do some puzzles together. It's just a good time outside.
Yeah, and another thing I'd mentioned earlier is just the fact that you can get to Lemoyne Point. As a student, it doesn't have access to a vehicle and relies on public transportation. Just getting there is the tricky part for a lot of people, and it's about 1.5 kilometers away from the bus stop. So like it's a really nice walk too. It's about maybe 20 minutes to get there, 15 if you're a fast walker. Just if you want to stroll along, maybe 30 minutes if you just want to like go really slow and enjoy the sights. But I don't think I've lived in a city where it's as easy to get to places of nature like this, which is really nice. And I've lived in a few cities, I've never seen anything like this before.
It's so true, Sonia. And I think after the year that anyone that's joining us has had with COVID-19, it really put a sharp focus on really enjoying having places like Lemoyne Point or just places of nature in general to go out and enjoy. And it's so wonderful as a community that we have this as an option.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a great place to take your dog. We actually had a comment earlier, which was a great comment. It was from Jessica Avery, and she said that our dog loves Lemoyne's. She tends to swim there in the summer, and it's a perfect place, like we talked about in the events, that they're forest therapy walks with your dog, but it's so so dog friendly. You just have to make sure your dog is on a leash, as you should be doing anyways.
Yeah. And make sure to pick up after your dog.
Yes, and Aiden, you can attest to this because you have a dog, so you know exactly like how nice it is to bring your dog. I don't know if you've brought your dog there before, but
Yeah, I have. Yep. It's he enjoys it a lot, that's for sure. He likes any time to get outside for a walk, he'll never turn that down. I see some more anonymouses have joined. Jackson JC, welcome.
Hi, guys. Sonia, this might be a perfect opportunity just while we let anyone that's joined us to type any questions they might have into our chat. We can play our amazing video that Sonia, our team member here, edited herself, and she's done a really great job. So we could share that with you guys now.
yeah, so enjoy, guys.
Find your inner peace and reconnect with nature at Lemoine Point.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to edit that because just dealing with the beautiful footage that Sam shot, it just made it so much easier for me. And I just had a lot of fun with it.
Well, you did an amazing job, and I think it really highlights the beautiful scenery that you can expect to find there. Not only in the fall, although those colors are beautiful, but really all year long.
Yeah, be sure if you're going to go to Lemoine Point, be sure that you think about the time you're going. On the weekends, it's super busy. So if you don't want to deal with any crowds, then it's probably advisable for you to go during the week. And also don't be afraid to go in the winter. It's still very beautiful there. If you're not afraid of the cold, or if you don't mind bundling up, it's a great place to go because there's not as many people and you get to see different wildlife. Plus the lake looks really, really cool in the winter.
100%.
Oh, that's true. That's another amazing time to get pictures at Lemoine Point is during the winter. All the ice and the beautiful trees. It's wonderful.
Yeah, one of our commenters earlier, I believe Garrett, says he's a photographer and he loves to take pictures there. And I couldn't agree more. As you saw in the footage that Sam shot, it's just such a nice place to shoot anything because even videos, pictures, anything, if you have an engagement, a wedding, like you're getting married and you want engagement photos, that is the perfect place to shoot wedding photos or engagement photos.
Oh, what a great idea. Yeah.
Photos as well. Like you want your Christmas card, go in the winter, get a picture, have all that winter gear on. It'll look pretty great. Oh, pricing. I don't know if we went over the pricing in this, so we'll just leave you with the prices. So becoming a member is just $20 a year, and that entitles you to basically vote in the meetings, go to the weekly meetings, everything. And the second adult in your household is only $10 a year as well. So it's a really cost-effective thing. Also, you can donate and you can volunteer. So donating and becoming a member are both tax deductible. So that's perfect for tax time.
Absolutely. And out of any of those options that Sonia just said, either donating, membership, or simply volunteering, all of them are a really great way to get involved in your community and help keep the preservation of Lemoine Point open as an area of green space for decades to come.
Yeah, so I think we actually have to wrap it up soon. Our time is almost up, but I just wanted to thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the few people who kept popping in and in. Gemma was a superstar. She popped in and out so many times. Oh, yeah. And Tom came in. It was great to see like the same faces. Thank you to all the first years that came. Thank you just everyone. And yeah, we really appreciate it. The reason we chose this charity is because it's not as well known. So unfortunately, we think Lemoine Point is a bit of a hidden gem. So not a lot of people know about it, especially when they move to Kingston for the first time, let alone not a lot of people know about the Friends of Lemoine Point. So we want to try to support an incredible charity that's doing such great work.
Absolutely. So anyone that's joining us today, if you didn't get a chance to hear, we do have buttons at the top of our page for both donating and becoming a member. And if you'd simply like to learn about becoming a volunteer, we've also uploaded those links into our stream today.
Yeah,
Thank you guys, and hope you've enjoyed our.
This stream will stay up as well. So if you missed anything or want to find out more, you can just go back and watch it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, guys. And we hope you saw some other amazing charities. Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Bye now,
stopping
guys.
by. Bye-bye.